Welcome to My Business Matters, the Michigan Chamber podcast.
Hello, listeners. I'm Amanda Toy, the Michigan Chamber's Vice President of Membership and Partnerships, and welcome to another episode and part 2 of our special look at Michigan's travel and tourism industry, one of the greatest industries of Michigan. As the Michigan weather finally warms up, I should add, and we get ready for the traditional kickoff of Michigan's peak tourism season, it seems like a perfect time to continue this conversation. I would love to welcome two very special guests today and major leaders of travel destinations here in Michigan. John Melcher, the CEO of Crystal Enterprises and Crystal Mountain. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Amanda. Glad to be with you today.
And Nick Shelton, Director of Golf for Zenders of Frankenmuth.
Hi, Amanda. Yeah, thanks for having me a part of this.
Absolutely. So both of you are such a key to Michigan Chamber's mission to help businesses succeed here, both in your leadership roles at your specific entities, and also want to thank you over the years for your volunteer board leadership at the Michigan Chamber. So that said, John and Nick, let's get started and jump right in. I would love to just start with having both of you just looking at the destinations that you represent in the state, different parts of the state, different geographic points in the state. Can you tell me a little bit of like a level set of how do you know tour and travel is going right now, being one of the hardest hit industries during COVID? And as we're slowly creeping out of that, there's a lot going on right now. So basically, what would you say the status of your businesses are right now, and looking ahead for the calendar year? How are we feeling?
Yeah, I would say it's a great status. We've come a long way over the last 3 years. Certainly, with the pandemic, we got hit with two extremes. Initially we had to suspend operations and figure out how to survive with no revenues, take care of our employees, our guests, and our facilities, as well as our property owners. But once we were able to restart some operations, we then had to reimagine how to deliver services and experiences in different ways to keep everyone safe. And then, of course, as you know, the demand for outdoor activities went off the charts, with many people seeking fresh air and open space that we enjoy here in Michigan. And that presented the next challenge: how to service that high demand with the capacity restrictions and also a limited labor supply, with many folks opting out of the workforce for various reasons. But I would say we've learned a lot over the last 3 years. It certainly has made us more resilient, certainly for our organization, and I would say for our whole region and the state. It also made all of us challenge some of the processes, and many of those solutions that we came up with, doesn't matter what the industry, those great solutions continue today. So I guess that could be the positive aspect of the last 3 years.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. I mean, and I wholeheartedly believe the status is we're back. We are back, and we are busier than ever. A lot of challenges over the last couple of years, but we all rebounded. At least we did. At Zenders, we rebounded in 2021, and then had a phenomenal 2022. And this year has been off to a great start. Spring break for us was busy. Easter was busy, and so all signs are pointing to a great and busy summer in 2023. So we're excited. We're excited to be where we're at right now. We're excited to have the staffing levels that we're at right now, and we're excited, like John said, to be able to figure out some of these new processes and new ways of doing things, and then having those stick and having those be really good for our customers, and our clients have been able to appreciate what we did over the last couple of years, and they've been showing it by showing up. So it's been great.
Both of your organizations have certainly been creative, and John, I think you had mentioned the word resilient. I had notes on that, and I wanted to bring that up. So I second that. Can you tell us a story? I'd love to hear from both of you on this, of specifically something you are so proud of your team that they stepped up to the challenge over the last 3 years, either an initiative that they took on or a creative rally, pivoting to, being shut down for a time being, and then the over influx of people who wanted to be outside and enjoy some of your services. What really stands out to you?
It's funny looking back. I can vividly remember March 16th of 2020 like it was yesterday, and that was a time where the day before we'd made the tough decision to suspend operations due to the pandemic. And that day I was standing next to our high-speed chairlift, the Crystal Clipper, watching our guests make their last runs of the season and watching our staff start to close up. And I was looking up at the slopes, thinking, what in the heck are we going to do now? In just a blink of an eye, the resort went from a busy place to a ghost town, and I was just, thinking what's going to be next. And at that point, we were all looking at just a 2-week, disruption. But our team rallied, and they certainly were up for the challenge. From the initial fog of the crisis to the daily and sometimes hourly course corrections, we certainly figured out how to reimagine how to safely deliver a great experience to our guests. We used a Swiss cheese approach with multiple layers of safety protocols. And for our business, it's hard to automate hospitality, and impossible to operate it remotely. So I would say our team's creativity, determination, and grace is what makes me very proud. And our team not only inspired me back then, but they continue to do so every day. And I also have to give high credit to the Benzie-Leelanau District Health Department. And appreciation for all the support and guidance that they gave us through the pandemic. They're certainly great partners of ours, keeping the community safe and also helping us, weather whatever storm we're dealing with. Certainly the pandemic was a big one, and stay in business.
Yeah, like John said, it takes people to do, phenomenal things at our company. We can't automate a lot of these jobs that we have. And so I'm just proud that we made the commitment to bring staff back. We committed to paying people and having them stay on our payroll as long as we possibly could. And then as things got closer and closer to us possibly be open, we just started hiring, and we started bringing people back. And there was times we didn't have anything for them to do, but we just knew it was going to pass. And we knew, when this thing breaks open, we're hoping we're busy, and we're going to need people to be able to do it. And we were fortunate to have a great team of people that were willing to just be out there and get the job done and service a lot of people in a very still kind of awkward, uneasy time. So I'm just, proud of our staff and what we were able to accomplish over the last couple of years.
It really is about the people, and I'm not surprised that both of you touched on that as far as what you're most proud of. And it was a very, very dark time, I'm sure, for you and your teams, and everybody just trying to figure out how to navigate what was then the new normal. So let's put the darkness behind us, and let's talk about let's talk about some bright spots for a few minutes, guys. As far as your day-to-day operations now, what looks strong? Is it group business? Is it food and beverage? Is it something new that you're excited about? Where are you really looking strong right now going into the rest of the calendar year?
A bright spot for us is the return of the meeting and conference and group business. Particularly with the corporate groups that have been remote for so long, have a strong desire to reconnect in person. Certainly the video conferencing is great and certainly helped us all out the last few years, but there's really no substitute for that in-person interaction. And then also the demand and interest in outdoor activities certainly has been a bright spot as well.
Yeah, I mean, a bright spot for us is that all four of our divisions are up and doing well. We're fortunate to have a diverse portfolio that really helped us through the kind of early times of COVID, and then has helped us continue over these last couple of years. There's a huge boom in golf, and so we've been able to capitalize on that. Our hotel and water park has seen great success over the last couple of years. Restaurant business is up. We're able to service a lot of people at one time on our property. And so I think families were just excited to reengage get back together or have Thanksgiving dinner together, and they were doing that with us. And then our retail business was up as well. So, I mean, it's just great to see, which doesn't always happen, all 4 divisions of our company, sharing in this success.
It's really great to hear. I would assume that leisure is up as individual households are making the decisions to be more open to, to travel again and enjoy some leisure activities. But it's also great to hear, John, about corporate business travel being up and groups getting back together and reconvening. So it's nice to have that balance, I'm sure, in that business mix back at both of your entities. Well, what about expectations and predictions for the rest of 2023? Are things, you're talking a lot about growth. Do you think, just with gas prices being up and inflation being such a concern, as a dinner timetable, is this something that you foresee as an issue for the next, let's say, 6 to 9 months? How are you overcoming it? Does it seem like, this isn't affecting local, in-state travel as much as you would think of out-of-state travel? What's your compass on that?
I think from our perspective, we're looking forward to, a strong summer season. We actually, kicked off our season earlier with our winter operations, which just wrapped up a couple weeks ago on April 2nd. But despite the weather challenges, we're anticipating having a strong summer. Both of our golf courses are opening, have opened. We've been welcoming meeting and conference guests back since we suspended ski operations, and we've also got a lot of events on the schedule. So again, expecting another busy season. And I would say, as we go into the summer, we certainly got more confidence with staffing, which includes our domestic and international staff this year, which is great.
Yeah, I'm very bullish on 2023 and really the future beyond that. I think a couple of years ago, people got to experience maybe some places in Michigan for the first time, or they started coming, more often, maybe not just one trip around the holidays and got to come to Frankenmuth during the summer or got to go up to, Crystal during the summer and things like that and just really see the state. And I'm seeing those return guests continuing to book, coming back again this summer. Our group business is looking strong. Similar to Crystal, our golf course just opened up a couple weeks ago. Initial bookings for that look very strong. Our hotel and indoor water park, the beauty of it is when it's cold out, we're able to swim indoors, and when it's nice out, we're able to open up the roof and you feel like you're outside in summertime. So, and a little bit of the Canadian market, which for us here in the Great Lakes Bay region is a big market for us. They seem to kind of lag behind in travel, not as quickly as the United States did or not as quickly as our guests in Michigan did. But over the last few months, we've started to see a lot more of our Canadian travelers start making their way back into this area. So very excited about that and really just excited about the summer and 2023 as a whole.
That's fantastic. And it's good to hear those trends and kind of that insider scoop. So thanks for sharing that, Nick. Yeah, we're definitely putting the skis away about now and bringing out the golf clubs, which is great for you and so many other tour and travel destinations here in Prairie, Michigan. If we can just talk about workforce for a few minutes, gentlemen. It's an overall trend, not just in Michigan, but in the United States, that there are some major workforce issues, and having enough people show up every day and do a good job on behalf of the organization to meet the needs that are, again, continuing to rise, which is great for your businesses. Nick, I think you actually mentioned that your workforce earlier in this conversation. You guys are doing A-OK. Just overall, what's the pulse on that as far as making sure you have enough staff every day to take excellent care of your guests as you continue to raise business rates here?
Yeah, I would say in most areas we're doing okay. In some areas, it's still a struggle to get some employees. But kind of the beauty of our business and our company, and I don't want to speak for John, but I'm sure somewhat similar up in Crystal, where we have a diverse portfolio of offerings and different properties and kind of spread out, is that we're able to share our employees. And so while it's not busy at the golf course early spring, or obviously when the course is closed, those employees that want to stay on will redeploy in other areas. So we have just different business levels for all of our properties, and we try and do our best to those that want to work, those that want hours, we can find hours for them. And so try and keep as many people on for 12 months as we can. And so that's kind of been one of our focuses that we've always done. But really these last couple of years is trying to, share employees and redeploy people in different areas. And then just commit to them of having a great work culture and a great fun place to work at. The hospitality industry does not always look very glamorous. And so, I think the more employees you have, the more of those that can kind of share in that success, the better the environment is for everyone.
Yeah, and I would echo Nick's points there. Certainly as for us as an organization, as we become more year-round, and that's been kind of a trajectory that we've been on for the last 30 years. We're able to keep people employed throughout the year, which is obviously a win for the employee, but also a win for us with employee retention. We also utilize the international worker programs, and that has gotten, I wouldn't say easier, but the restrictions have been lifted since the pandemic. So we've got our full complement of our international team back. And I'll also say that domestic hiring, the labor market has gotten better that we've seen probably the last 8 to 12 months. So as I said, I think earlier, we feel much more confident going into this summer season with having enough staff to take care of our guests.
Yeah, I'm sure it makes you not stay up at night if you're able to say phrases like you just said, John, as far as a reduction of labor shortages. So that keeps all of us very helpful that people are getting back to work and overall enjoying what they do and contributing to the great industry of hospitality here in Pure, Michigan. So while I have you, I would love to hear any big news from both of your total business units and properties, or really just any focal points that you want to make sure that you're sharing with all of our great listeners today throughout the state.
Well, I guess I can share some big news that'll be announced very soon. Is that we've just recently entered into a collaborative partnership with Ferris State University, and that will provide not only training opportunities to our employees here at Crystal, but also workforce development, work experience opportunities, career exploration, and employment opportunities for the university students, and then also faculty and student projects to benefit both organizations. And this partnership really does align with one of our core values, which is collaboration and partnership. Because certainly, we believe working together creates the highest value over time, and we like to refer to it as the power of and. So that's something exciting on our plate right now.
It's so great to hear that you have that relationship with the Ferris students. I've met a lot of people throughout the years who graduate from that program, just very eager to contribute, and not just in a short-term work relationship, but to really invest themselves in a long-term career in hospitality. So that's brilliant to hear. Absolutely. And I'm glad that we heard it first here.
Yeah.
Nick, what's going on in your side of the state?
Yeah, no real big news to announce right now. I can say we are definitely working on just continuing to improve, continuing to, invest in our people, invest in our properties, invest in our plans. So nothing today to announce, but always looking at ways to get better, right? Not necessarily to be the biggest, but to be the best. We want to be a 4 seasons destination, multi-generational family fun. So just looking at ways to continue to, improve on what we feel like we're already doing a good job at.
Yeah, and actually, I was just on with Dave Lorenz, who leads Travel Michigan. You're all very good friends with him, and that is something that we really spent some time on. As far as the beautiful attribute of Michigan is that we have our 4 seasons. So when our different resorts, hotels, tour and travel entities can get really creative and continue to invest in and build out their overall offerings for all 4 seasons. That is just a great opportunity to expand on the economic impact that you have on our great state. So it's good to hear that you're continuing to innovate over in the Thumb area as well. I would love to just close with any last thoughts. You're both just excellent leaders, thought leaders, business leaders in our state, in hospitality and tourism. What are some last thoughts that you would love to leave with our listeners today?
I guess I'd just like to thank everybody for tuning in and just encourage all the listeners, if they're not a chamber member, to certainly consider joining, or if they are, make sure that they're taking advantage of all the great resources provided by the chamber. For example, we started, our talk today about operating through the pandemic, and certainly the chamber was a critical source of help for us. From convening, business groups and various industry leaders to try to figure out how we were all going to tackle this challenge together. Certainly a challenge that had never been seen or contemplated before. With the advocacy, the resources, the solutions, there's an incredible value that the chamber provides, and it's certainly much appreciated by our team.
Well, thanks, John. When our businesses are strong, our workforce is strong, and our economies are strong, and our communities are strong. And it's something that we're very proud of. There were a lot of sleepless nights with you all on boots on the ground, and you laugh and you say, yeah, that absolutely. Right. But here at the Chamber, too, wanting to bring industries together and thought experts together to overcome and to look forward and look ahead. And I'm loving all of the positive conversations of where you guys are at today. And Nick, how about you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and thanks for everything the Chamber does for us. And I think that's what makes really Michigan and the tourism industry so great, is that the collaboration is incredible. I mean, everything the Michigan Chamber does, everything, the Frankenmuth Chamber, Jamie and her staff do a great job. Mm-hmm. Dave Lorenz and Pure Michigan do an unbelievable job of really promoting the state, promoting travel, and just promoting to get people, into our communities. And then as all of these resorts and these businesses, and as Crystal does well, and as we do well, and properties across the state do well, I mean, it benefits all of us. Being on I-75 time and time again, whether it's at the golf course, at our restaurant, we hear people are traveling on their way up north and stopping in for lunch, or traveling on their way back down from up north and stopping in for a round of golf. So it's just great to see a lot of success in the state, and it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen without all the hard work from folks like you at the Chamber, or all of the chambers across the state.
Absolutely. And, unfortunately, we're out of time. I think we have an extra minute, but I'm going to take that to book my next golf trips over at the Fortress and Crystal Mountains. So, guys, we'll see you soon in your neck of the woods. But thank you for joining us today. Thank you for our listeners. And everybody out there, make sure you enjoy some awesome Pure Michigan this summer.